What up, brawlers? Welcome back to Throwin Hands. Breck and I are back for the second time in a week. This is the first time in 3 months we have done this, Breck. Breck, how's it feel?
Pretty good. You know, we've been blessed with some good cards of recently, as of late, rather, and it's just good to talk some fighting.
Yeah, it's good to get back. Daniel's still in the Shadow Realm. We don't know if we'll get him back. Let's be honest here, Breck.
It's some fugazi baseball team is taking him from us. Like I don't even think this baseball team really even exists. But
I think it's just a simulation in MLB The Show or something.
I think he's calling. Yeah, exactly. I think he's calling a video game, but he thinks it's like real life.
Yeah. It's just raining outside. That's why I looked out the window. But let's go over a couple fights in the prelims. They were both very quick. Miles Johns, man. Whoo. That was Dos Santos was dead on the ground practically. What were your thoughts on this knockout?
It was a perfectly placed punch. It was a pretty good fight up until then. I thought the early prelims delivered more than the rest of the cards. There was like spectacular knockouts on the early prelims, and then on the main card in the prelims, there wasn't a ton of finishes.
Yeah. And speaking of finishes, Manel Kopp had a nasty knee.
It was
flying knee.
Some people were saying early stoppage, maybe.
No,
because the guy Osborne put his head up and looked around, but he was gonna get hammer fisted into oblivion if he didn't stop that fight. So I like the decision, and what a knee! And I mean, I think it's Manel Kopp's first win in the UFC, right?
Yeah, and they kind of threw him to the wolves in his first fight against who was it? Alexandre Pantoja.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he comes from rising like Yuri Prohaska.
He was a champ, right?
Yeah, he was the champ. He was the flyweight champ.
I think he's got a bright future.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be Yuri Prohaska level, but we'll see what happens. Speaking of Yuri, I hope Glover Teixeira doesn't have to back out, but if it happens.
Now I want to have that fight happen in Poland or somewhere in Eastern Europe, so
Blachowicz can spend time with his family while he can train,
and we could get more Yuri Prohaska in the woods videos, which are the best videos maybe ever.
Dude, I got chills when he said that. When he screamed.
Chills,
bro. All right, this was sad to watch. You and I both have discussed this. Karolina Kowalkiewicz, our fellow Polish woman, our fellow Pole, lost to Jessica Penne. It was a nice submission, I'll say. It was a very nice armbar. But I think it's time for Kowalkiewicz to hang it up. What do you think, man?
I think so. She went on her Instagram live afterwards and was in tears saying she might have to move on from fighting. So if you're thinking about it, it probably is a good idea. The thing that made no sense to me was she was doing okay on the feet, and then she Penne was on the ground from a takedown, and it's you really don't want to go onto the ground with Penne because that's her strong suit. And she could have had a chance to let her up, and she went down, and then 2 minutes later she gets submitted. So it was it was a weird decision.
Yeah, she was piecing her up on the feet. I'll say that. It was good to watch, but dang, it stinks. It really stinks. But I just want to shout. This fight was a half decent fight, but I'll say this: Ed Herman, man.
Better than people were saying this was a terrible fight. I thought this was a fun fight.
I think Ed Herman's been in the UFC for what, 12, 13 years?
15, I think, actually.
So the way he was so composed when he was getting his butt beat up against the fence, I was very impressed by that.
Dude, I was super impressed. He's taking shots from a guy who's 10 years younger, and he was throwing shots. I mean, his leg, he didn't.
That was nasty.
His leg, he couldn't put much weight on it. That was pretty brutal. It was all mangled, all red. But yeah, he showed a lot of heart. The guy's super tough. But good win for Menafield. I think he's 2 in a row, maybe.
Yeah, let's take a look at the big board. Yes, he beat Fabio Charant and Ed Herman, and then he lost to OSP.
So I mean,
So he's won 2 out of the last 3. Not bad.
not bad. I mean, I don't know how young he is, but I mean, he could
He's
definitely
34.
before. So I don't know how. That's tough.
Yeah, it is
But
tough.
light heavyweight has a lot of new faces, so maybe he could get ranked soon.
Yeah, I also want to mention something about Ed Herman. Along with this dude's tough as nails. This dude got liver kicked. I understand that was a terrible stoppage by Tagnoni, but this dude came back and submitted Rodriguez, and then he somehow survived that flurry by Menifeld. This dude's tough as nails. I don't know how he does it so late into his career.
Yeah.
This was a fun fight. This was fun.
Yeah.
Vince Morales, you can catch me and Vince Morales on Bloody Canvas MMA. I actually know this guy. We've talked a few times. Great guy. He needed to get back in the win column this one. And he did it. Draco Rodriguez, he might be on the chopping block low key. But what were your thoughts on this one?
He lost most of his.
Yeah. Draco Rodriguez has lost his last couple of fights. But what were your thoughts on this one?
This was a good fight. There wasn't a ton of big shots landed. It was just consistently back and forth. I thought maybe the takedowns for Rodriguez would have maybe. I mean, he thought he won the fight. I guess he thought he won the fight because of the takedowns. But the striking numbers, I guess, were just too in favor of Morales for the judges. Not the greatest fight for me, but a good one,
Yeah, it was good. You can't really complain with if we got a card full of these, I wouldn't complain.
No. It's just the fight that happened next was just so great that
it was fun. It was a lot of fun. Some people thought Bobby Green should have won the fight,
us included.
Yeah, but I think I feel bad for Bobby Green because this was probably his swan song, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, definitely.
But
dude, the guy's fought a lot of people.
Yeah, he's fought Dustin Poirier, Michael Johnson, I think.
Yeah, he's fought a lot of really top guys.
He's been around a hot minute. But I think Fiziev could become champ one day.
Maybe. I think he'll be he's 28, so obviously he's really young in the game. I think in 2-3 years' time, he'll probably be a top 5, top 10 guy consistently. But I think this performance showed a veteran like Bobby Green just kind of kept getting beat up in the first 2 rounds and just didn't care. He just was every shot he was I'm good. That didn't hurt.
Iron chin.
I kind of think it got into Fiziev's head a little bit. And then in the third, he was tired. He wasn't really throwing anymore. And Bobby Green picked him apart in the third. And I understand the way the judging works that, Fiziev did win 2 rounds to 1, so he wins the fight. But that third round was so lopsided that you kind of to me, it's a draw at worst,
Yeah. I don't know, man.
10-8 round. The third round's a 10-8 round for me.
Yeah. That stunk, but promising young prospect there. Speaking of people who won the fight, back to Draco Rodriguez
as well.
What'd you say?
Fiziev called out
Hasbulla, yeah. Oh, did you hear the fight's back on?
Oh, it is?
They got a promoter.
Oh, let's go. Huge. That's the biggest news ever. No UFC news compares to Hasbulla news,
Dude, I don't get how he's still relevant. I thought that one video was going to be it from him.
He's a legend, dude.
It's awesome. I love it. But speaking of somebody who thought they won, Casey Kenny thought he beat Song Yadong, which wasn't even close.
He definitely won the third. But, yeah, like you said, the striking numbers just weren't that close. Song Yadong kind of just pieced them up on the feet. I think if Casey Kenny went to his wrestling earlier, don't you think he would have had a better chance of winning the fight?
Yes.
You got the takedown in the third and looked great. But if you did that in the first round, maybe you take him down every round and you win the fight. So you would have thought coming off the loss to Cruz that Casey Kenny would have made some more adjustments, but he's still a pretty young guy. I think he's 25, 26?
He's 30.
Oh, he's 30?
Yeah.
Interesting. But this guy, Song Yadong's really good. He's coached by Faber, right?
Yeah, he's only 23, I think.
23. So this guy that's what I'm thinking of on the young side. But this guy has a bright future.
Yeah. But Casey Kenny did not win that fight. I love you, man, but talk to you once.
That
But
was ridiculous that they both like jumped up on the cage and were like, "We won."
yeah, but damn, this is a fight Angela Hill definitely lost.
For sure.
It's not like those weird close ones like Claudia Gadela or Michelle Watterson that you could debate in theory
Yeah.
that she won the fight. But Tisha Torres, man, she's on an uphill climb. She's looking really good these past two fights. What were your thoughts on this one, man?
Tisha Torres gets her second win over Angela Hill, and she just looked faster. She was first to every engagement in the fight, and she landed more variety of strikes, kicks to the body, leg kicks, high kicks. Just a honestly just a dominant performance on the stand up. And when I went to the ground, it was pretty even. So yeah, she really dominated Angela Hill, which is surprising. I thought Angela Hill would make this closer, but yeah, props to Tisha Torres.
Now let's look at the rankings here. I think Tisha Torres, Gadela's or Tisha Torres, Nina Nunes is the fight to make. What do you think, man?
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe Claudia Gadella, or I know Mackenzie Dern has a fight booked with Esparza, right?
Uh-huh.
I think she wants a top 5 person, so I can't pronounce this name. Yan Janoanan.
Yan Jiaonan.
Jiaonan. She just lost to who did she just lose to?
Esparza.
She lost to Esparza. So she's coming off a loss, but she's still, ranked in the top 5. I think that's the fight to make for her personally, because I think Tisha Torres deserves somebody high ranked after a win like that.
Yeah. Oh, Dern is scheduled to fight Rodriguez.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a banger.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
And you and I discussed about Angela Hill that she had to win this fight to stay in title contention. Where's she go from here, man? Hebus? But Hebus is fighting soon, right?
Yeah, I mean, maybe a rematch with Claudia Gadela, because everybody thought she won the first time. But,
yeah, I thought she won.
Somebody, the 13 through 15, or somebody who's in the top, 6, 7, 8 that doesn't have a fight would make sense too.
Yeah, it's Hebus is scheduled to fight Jandiroba.
Even though Angela Hill lost, I mean, she's kind of a fan favorite in the sense that she always, she's a fighter's fighter. Like, she brings a fight every time.
She says yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a shame, but we'll see what happens. All right. This was the surprise of the night for me how it ended, not the result, because you and I both said Luque was going to win, but yeah. Chiesa had that ground control, and when Luque escaped, popped in the Darce, and bam, it was over. What were your thoughts, man?
Dude, this fight was over. Chiesa had the rear naked choke. He, for some reason or another, I mean, he said on his he put out a post that night saying like the pressure got to him in the moment. He just made a mental error and let go of the chin. I mean, if he locks in the chin, dude, the fight's over. He gets the rear naked choke. He had the both hooks in. It was pretty tight. And he just kind of like, he messed up with his arm placement, and Luque reverses it, hits him with a Darce. I mean, it's not surprising. He trains with Gilbert Burns. They're great at jiu-jitsu. So I just thought Chiesa really blew this one. I know Luque, you got to give props to Luque as well, but Chiesa had it,
Luque's good, bro. He's so good.
I mean, he called out Usman, which I think we will see eventually. Maybe not for like another year, but we will see it eventually.
I think the fight to make is Luque and Leon.
That does make a lot of sense. Leon doesn't have a fight. I know Gilbert Burns and Leon have been going at it on Twitter recently. It's like a couple hours ago they were going at it. But Wonder Boy would be another fight for Luque. That's interesting because they fought one, and Wonder Boy pieced him up. That's Luque's last loss.
Yeah.
So Luque's only gotten better since then. So that would be interesting.
No one talks about him in this division.
No, he's like the dark horse, man. People just forget how good this guy is.
But, the dude has bricks for hands.
Submit people. He do everything. He's like the perfect martial artist.
Yeah, dude, that Usman fight would be so fun to watch.
It would be. you just got to feel for Chiesa, man, because like if he wins this fight, he's in real contention, and now he's just gonna have to work his way back with a few more
What's
wins.
next? Masvidal, Muhammad.
You know, that's
No one wants to see Chiesa Masvidal because if Chiesa puts him on the ground, Masvidal's not going to be able to do anything.
no. Muhammad's a good shout. Maybe Li Jinglang.
Li Jingliang, yeah.
That would be a good fight. I know
Ponzinibbio would be fun.
I know those are lower ranked guys, but
They're good.
they're good guys, and they would be good wins for Chiesa. Chiesa needs to stack some wins, to get like another top fight like that.
You know, it would be good. Sean Brady.
Mm-hmm.
Or Mike Motown Phenom. He needs a fight. Chiesa didn't take damage.
No, that's true. That would be interesting. Win over Kevin Lee. Didn't they fight?
At 55?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Because there was that press conference where it was like, talk about my mom. Remember that?
Yeah. I'm taking a look right now. Yes, they did fight in 2017.
Who won? I forget.
Kevin Lee submitted him.
Oh, so see, that would be like good, get some revenge maybe.
Yeah, bring it up a weight class. But speaking of, Kevin Lee needs a fight. Where does he fit into all this?
Where does he fit into all this? It's like Al Ayaquinta, top 10 houses sold, it's the same thing. It's a mystery. Like, does Al really even sell houses? Like, does Kevin Lee fit into any of this? We don't know.
It's a Fugazi. He runs Fugazi real estate thing. Like Daniel commentates a Fugazi baseball team.
Very similar.
Very similar. They need to talk.
Yeah.
They need to talk.
It's like Al is always like, I'm selling houses on Long Island. Al, I'm not seeing it, Where are these houses? You just keep saying you're selling these houses, but are they real?
Yeah, I think they're a formality. Who knows? But anyway. Jose Aldo, man.
This was so great. This was a wholesome moment in the MMA community.
I don't even know where to start.
Dude, he looked like his old self again. It was awesome.
He looked amazing.
It looked like young Aldo. Like, and I was looking through like his fight history. The guy has only fought the best of the best his whole career. His only losses in the UFC are two like great fight, like Volkanovski, Connor,
Holloway,
Piotr Jan, Holloway, Marlon Moraes. Like, that's a ridiculous name. And then you list who he's beat. And, in those losses, he didn't look like the same Aldo. And a lot of people were saying, oh, he's washed. He's been in the game too long. But his last two fights, dude, vintage Jose Aldo. Leg kicks, superior boxing. And, dude, did you see the way he was checking those calf kicks?
Yeah, I saw that video you sent.
That was amazing, dude. I don't think anybody's done that.
No.
The way he was, like, putting the leg back. I mean, Munoz, when he fought Rivera, was turning his leg to the side to check the calf kicks. But nobody was doing what Aldo did to check those calf kicks. That was pretty amazing.
He looked phenomenal. And remember that, like, one, like, 5-6 piece combination that he threw? Oh, my gosh.
At the end of the third, right before the bell? Yeah, he
Uh-huh.
unleashed a fury of, like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It was awesome.
So, to the rankings, I don't know where Pedro Munoz goes from here. It's kind of locked up. I think Dominic Cruz would be a fun fight.
That would be fun.
Or Cheeto
Vera would be a really fun fight as well.
Yeah, Cheeto's the dark horse in this division, I think.
A Sunsao versus Munoz would be really fun too.
Yeah, that would be fun.
But for Aldo, man, I know he wants Dillashaw in December, but like I was watching, I don't know if he's watched any of the hardcore MMA fans are gonna hate that I said this, but the Calabasas fight companion with like Brandon Shaw, Brian Ortega, TJ Dillashaw, and Josh Thompson. They did like a fight companion, and Dillashaw said like his knee's it's gonna take a while for his knee to heal up, so I don't think we see him the rest of the year.
Wait, were you watching that companion?
Yeah, I like watched it the day after.
How was it?
It was actually pretty good. Like, I know people don't like Shaw, but like Josh Thompson and TJ were great on it. But
yeah, Ortega had some weird comments in that.
He did. He's a funny guy. He's out there.
Yeah, hey, dude, that guy got Tracy Cortez. Big ups to him.
To me, the fight to make is like Rob Font, Jose Aldo, no? Because everybody else has a fight basically booked.
I say Sandhagen.
I could see it. I don't love that matchup for Aldo. You know, the guy who's like 8 years younger and the reach. But
Font would be fun. Dude, any fight top five is awesome.
Because you got to think, Giannis facing Sterling in like November. Dillashaw is going to wait for Dillashaw basically was guaranteed by Sean Shelby and the UFC brass that he gets the winner. So he's just going to wait. So then basically Rob Font, Sandhagen, Aldo are just kind of in the wind right now. And they like, to me, you make any of those three fight each other. That's the fight to make to me.
So TJ's going to fight Piotr Jan for the title.
Yeah, basically. TJ's going to fight Piotr Jan in Russia like late next year, probably.
Dude, that'll be awesome.
It's interesting, man. He was talking about how his style is really like good to beat Jan, and you could see it.
Yeah, dude, I can't wait for that Sterling murder.
I just don't know. Like coming off of neck surgery, is he really going to want to wrestle too much? And if he can't wrestle because of the neck so much, he's going to get killed on the feet. We saw it in the first fight. You know what I mean?
If those Muay Thai sweeps were beautiful.
Exactly. And
beautiful.
They were like perfectly executed like every time.
But he's so good.
Jose Aldo versus Dominic Cruz would also be a real fun one. I just know people have wanted to see that forever.
Yeah. Hey, WEC legends.
Yeah. I mean, I know Garbrandt's moving down a division, so I don't think he'll be fighting there.
Dude, I think Garbrandt can make some real noise in the 25ers.
Yeah, I agree. I think 35 is too tough for him now.
Dude, I mean, that dude can knock you out with one punch.
Yeah, and he'll be like a big 125 too, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
But I would love to see Aldo Cruz just for like the old heads. You know, it would be a nostalgic type matchup. But for me, Rob Font, Jose Aldo, both coming off wins. Rob Font, like, dude, his jab in that last fight was just unbelievable.
Well, to the main event of the evening. Wow.
This went how we basically said it was going to happen, except Lewis never did anything. Like, the big Lewis moment never happened.
I think you and I both knew deep down that Gaunt was going to win this fight.
Yes, we just thought, like, Lewis would have that one little brief moment where he lands a shot and you're like, oh, wow, he's going to finish. But our initial, like, what our heads were telling us was correct. Gaunt picks him apart on the feet, and that's exactly what happened.
I don't even know where to begin with this, to be honest, because think about this. Gaunt has never lost a single round in the UFC. I saw this today. Hasn't lost a single round.
He's an undefeated Muay Thai fighter, too.
Undefeated. Well, he only fought 12 times in Muay Thai.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, over 24 fights, he's never lost a round.
He has so little experience in combat sports. And he's a 30-year-old heavyweight. He's a young heavyweight.
Dude, they say your heavyweight prime is 35. So, I mean.
35 to 40. Yeah.
Gary.
It's amazing. Like, this should not have been for a belt. I think you and I both agree with that.
No, but Gaunt will now fight Ngannou for the unification. So who really cares that he has the interim belt? You know what I mean?
But this is like Gaunt is he moves like a middleweight.
Yeah, it's crazy, bro. He's so light on his feet for a guy that big, and his striking, like the whole thing leading up to this fight was like MMA doesn't work on Derek Lewis. Let me tell you. MMA worked on Derek Lewis. Those knees in the clinch were brutal. He was throwing, elbows. The elbows were ridiculous. And, I mean, the last knee that led to the finish was right on the button.
I think Cyril Gaunt showed something really interesting here because when he knocked out Derek Lewis, in his previous fights, he'd only throw like 3-piece combinations. When he was getting loose up against the fence, he was throwing a flurry of punches, like 6-7 punches per combination, waited and then found more places to punch.
Yeah, I mean, Derek Lewis seemed like the moment got to him, like the pressure of fighting in front of your hometown, TJ Dillashaw brought this up on the Fight Companion, saying how like Derek Lewis said he trained more than he's ever trained. It's like if you're doing more than you've ever done, it means you're really nervous. So it seems like the nerves played a factor, and Derek Lewis never got started, dude. He threw like one or two big punches, but like besides that, he kept trying to throw this high kick that
switch kick.
that switch kick that Gon would like basically laughed at. He was like, "You're really gonna throw this against me?" And then he's like, "I'll show you some real MMA." And then he would throw a high kick, get him against the fence, throw some knees, some elbows. This guy's so good.
Let's start off with Derek Lewis. What's the fight to make for him, man?
That's a good question. I don't know how you
Volkov
feel.
again?
Maybe because Volkov was beating him up pretty bad.
Rosenstruik, that's the fight to make. But he's fighting Sakai.
Yeah. No. Didn't he beat Sakai?
Yeah, he did beat Sakai.
Isn't he fighting Curtis Blade?
Yes, he's fighting Curtis Blades at the end of next month.
That's a good fight. I don't know how you feel. Do you kind of feel like this is it for Derek Lewis in terms of he's had 2 title shots?
No, he's 36. He's in his prime.
But does he ever beat the elite?
I think he can.
I don't think he can. I think he fights Stipe, he loses. I think Gon again loses. Fights Ngannou again, I think he loses. John Jones would ragdoll Derek Lewis. Like,
can you imagine just if Derek Lewis got close, front kick. John
Jones could just take him down like once and the fight's over. You know what I mean?
Kimura.
I think if Stipe fought him, takes him down, over. The same way, similar to the DC fight. I think this is it for like Lewis in terms of not fighting top guys, but I don't think he's ever getting to the belt again. He said when you get 2 shots, it's tough to get a third.
Here's the thing: if he wins 2 fights, he's back for the belt.
Is he though? Because
John Jones. I think John Jones will come in. I think things are looking up.
Yeah.
And with Stipe still in the picture, the dude I think he could still beat Francis, to be honest.
I don't think he could, dude. I think Francis is way better than the first time they fought. I just think Derek Lewis is so one-dimensional, and now people know. Like, Gon kind of figured out how to beat him. I mean, not even Gon, dude. Junior Dos Santos. Junior Dos Santos did a similar thing when he beat Lewis. DC, another
okay.
Lewis. I just think he's so limited in what he can do. I don't know.
Okay, I have an idea. So Chris Dawkins and Shamil Rakimov are fighting next. They're fighting soon. I know that.
Winner gets Lewis?
Yeah.
I don't hate it. I think Volkov Lewis too would be a really good fight just because that first fight, Volkov was winning the whole fight. And then Lewis just hits him with that ridiculous shot.
I think Volkov made the blueprint to beat him.
Yeah. And he just got caught. You just can't get caught. But
that was a nasty knockout, bro.
It was. But like we said, bro, for Cyril Gane, this is just the beginning. And I think Cyril Gane in 2 to 3 years could become champion, and I think he could beat anybody. I think Gane could beat in 2 years of John Jones, just because Jones will be a little bit older.
But Jones will be in his heavyweight prime at that point.
I don't think he's in his I think it's different for Jones because he's been in the game too long. You know what I mean? Like Ngannou and them haven't been fighting since they're 20 years old.
That's true. But let's be honest. How many good shots has John Jones taken?
Not a lot. But also when you move up to heavyweight, the shots are different.
That's true.
I think John Jones gets a belt eventually, but I don't think he has a long run. I think he has 3-4 years tops.
All right.
33, 34 right now, right?
Yeah.
I think he's done by 38.
Here's what they should do. They should just give Jones a warm-up against Derek Lewis.
That would be a great fight in the sense that it's what the company needs. Like John Jones needs as well. Like John Jones would just take him down and the fight.
John Jones head kick. Boom, it's over.
And then that's a win over like a top 5 guy. And then you can automatically say, okay, title shot next. You know what I mean?
He could
But I
just get
love-
the title shot anyway, Doesn't really matter.
No, but I like the John Jones Stipe fight.
Stiopic.
That's a great fight, dude.
All right, let's talk about this Gon and Ganu matchup. How do you see it going?
Dude, I don't know. That's like a lot of they've been showing the sparring footage recently leading up to the fight, and it looked pretty even in the sparring. I know it's sparring and they're both young. That's tough, man, because Ngannou is really good. He's obviously more diverse in terms of his striking than Derek Lewis, but it's almost in the same sense that he doesn't move like Gon moves. So Gon could be like a real problem for Ngannou in the sense that even though if Ngannou touches him, same as Lewis, big problems, but can Ngannou touch Gon the way he moves?
I think in the next few years, Gon and Jones will be the two top guys for a while.
And then have like a trilogy. That'd be pretty fun.
I think Gon pieces apart Ngannou. I don't think he knocks him out, but I think it's just gonna be a technical beatdown.
Yeah, I could see that.
How do you think John Jones ends his career? How many losses?
I think he loses once. I think even you would admit, if you're in heavyweight for 4 years, you'll probably wind up losing once. Just because, you don't see a punch flash KO'd. Like, look at, I always bring back, like, the Stipe DC one.
Yeah.
It was like short elbow in the clinch. Just didn't see it. Gets knocked out. And that was Stipe off, like, 7 wins in a row before that fight. So, I think it's hard to bet against it, but I think he wins a belt eventually, and I think he loses once. Maybe once or twice.
Call me crazy, but I don't think John Jones loses. He's going to have 3 defenses, and he's going to call it quits.
I don't think so. I think he wins it and loses once, and then that might be it.
I think if he does lose, I think he loses and gets it back.
I could see it.
But, man, Gon, he could be the GOAT one day. I'm not even like, I don't think I'm crazy even saying that.
What is he? 29?
31.
31. So you got to think 7-8 years left in his career. 2 fights a year, or maybe, you get hurt sometimes. He's probably got 15 fights in him, 15 to 20 fights in him. If he keeps beating people the way he's beating, dude, yeah, you're right. He could really, one day, at the end of it, be considered an all-time great.
This dude was barely even ranked last year.
I know. He made his MMA debut, like 5 years ago?
Yeah.
6 years ago? And he's, like, fighting for the belt next. It's crazy.
Yeah, let's take a look. So he beat Tanner Boser. He beat Junior Dos Santos. He beat Rosenstruik. He beat Volkov, and he beat Derek Lewis.
That's crazy for your first 5 UFC fights. He beat killers.
Junior Dos Santos, what? Seriously?
I know. That was when Junior was, still past it, but still a dangerous guy.
I miss Junior. They did him dirty how they released him.
They did. Wasn't a good look for the UFC, honestly. The guy's a legend.
We have good news out of Liverpool. Till and Brunson officially scheduled for September 4th.
W. Huge. Darren Till. W.
Can't wait for that one. Lee wants Mike Perry or Bilal Muhammad to step in to replace Sean Brady.
I like both options. I think Bilal Muhammad would be a better fight than Perry.
Oh, so the Texas judges stated why Fiziev lost. I'll send that to you, Breck. Why Fiziev won, rather. I'll send that to you right now, actually. It's kind of interesting.
I don't agree, Texas judges.
What'd you say?
I don't agree with the Texas judges,
I don't think anybody agrees with Texas judges.
Dude, judging in MMA needs to be held more accountable. I don't know how you feel, but
yes.
When you hear a 10-8 round sometimes, or you see the fight is 29-28, and then there's a 30-27, and it was obviously a close fight. how are we missing what you see? You know what I mean? How are you scoring at 30-27 when the whole world sees that it was obviously 29-28?
They need to have fighters and coaches judge.
I think they should bring in former fighters who have been in the UFC to be judges. I
think any MMA, professional MMA fighter.
Yeah, I think because they know what they're looking at more than a lot of these judges come over from boxing too. And
Lobov should be the top judge.
Artem Lobov, yeah. But there's so many ex-UFC guys who you could throw a bone to and make a judge, you know?
Yeah. It really stinks. When does Kevin Holland fight next, man?
Oh, he fights in October against
Oh yeah, Dawkins, right?
other Dawkins. Yeah.
Or Brendan Allen.
No, he fights Dawkins.
Kyle Dawkins. Yeah, that's right.
Is he related to Brandon? The other
Yeah,
Dawkins?
they're brothers.
Brothers? Okay. I don't know, man. There's lots of Munozes out there. There's lots of Dawkinses, you know.
Yeah, there's lots of everything out there. But I just want to say this. I think I'm excited for that September pay-per-view with Volkov, Ortega, Shevchenko, state-sanctioned murder.
Yeah.
And Diaz Lawler too.
It's gonna be a fun card. I'm interested, bro. I'm looking for next card. Cannonier Gastelum. They have not announced the rest of the card, huh?
It's probably on Wikipedia. Gastelum. But dude, I can't believe the October 30th card is free.
I know.
It's one of the best cards of the year.
It's up there. It's not as good as the Colby Usman card. That's like all-time level card, but it's pretty great.
Michael Chandler, get the damn shot.
I know. Dude, just get a Johnson & Johnson shot. One shot.
Get it over with.
Not to be like political, bring it to an MMA show, but like, dude, if you don't want to get a vaccine, just get the single shot. It will not harm you, you know?
You will live.
You will live. It's not like that. It's not rocket science.
Breck and I are not doctors, but Breck, what did you get the shot?
I got the 2 because it's just like I just got it out of the way, dude. It wasn't that.
Are you still here?
I'm still here, dude.
You know who's not here?
Who? Oh, well, we don't. It's a sore subject to bring up, Daniel, dude. It's really. I don't like to talk about. I get emotional.
He's just not around anymore, man.
Dude, this judge is saying he scored Fiziev 10-9 round 3. How?
Dog, I don't know. So bad. So bad. But the 268 card's looking up, bro. I'm telling you. It's going to be awesome. But how do you see the Usman Colby Covington fight going?
Closer than people think. People need to rewatch the first fight. It was 2-2 going into the 5th.
I also think people need to look how Usman faked the liver shot.
I mean, there's a couple of things. Yeah, there are a couple of things in that fight that
Usman also faked a couple eye pokes, if I remember correctly.
Groin strike that really didn't hit the cup. Like there was a few controversial things, but all that aside, it was still 2-2 going into the 5th, and the 5th was competitive. I mean, obviously Usman knocked him out, but like, who's to say that we don't see a similar fight?
And look, I know Tyron wasn't the same fighter that Usman fought, but Colby Covington killed him.
He killed him, dude. The only thing about Covington this time is like Usman's striking's improved. We need to see improved striking from Colby for him to win.
I think it probably has. He was throwing a lot more kicks against.
It's true, but we've seen very limited stuff from Colby. So
I can't wait, dude. This MMA.
It's gonna be great.
MMA from here until the rest of the year is awesome.
It's great, man. I mean,
We still got the Bellator Grand Prix with the light heavies.
I know. I'm excited for that. Maybe we get to see AJ McKee fight for Bellator once before the end of the year too. But
We gotta bring McKee to the UFC, bro.
I would like to see him in the UFC. I would like to see him win like 3 or 4 more fights before he comes to the UFC, just because like he beat Pitbull. Yeah, it's great, but let him reign over the Bellator featherweight for a little while and then come to the UFC. You know,
I want to see Michael Venom Page in the UFC.
he's open to it. I read a while back, but I don't know.
Dude, that last knockout he had was nasty when
He's fighting Lima again, right?
I think so.
That's one of the greatest fights, just because of the ending.
And Bellator. It's one of the best this is the best Bellator fight ever. Dude,
You see Fedor's fighting in the fall?
yes. Are you excited?
I mean, he's gonna get knocked out in like the first round again. Guy's like he's pushing 50.
How old is Fedor Emelianenko?
I think he's like 46, dude. Maybe he's like 48 now.
Give me 6 months and I'll beat Fedor. He's 44.
44, bro. I mean, for a fighter, that's crazy.
And Junior Santos wanted the Fedor fight.
Junior would knock him out, dude. It's like 7 years younger.
Yeah. I love Junior Dos Santos, man.
Good guy.
Good guy. Dude, this is the era of the good guy in the UFC, man.
It is. Got Jan, Brandon Moreno, Oliveira, Dustin.
Yeah. Polish power.
Legendary.
I go back to Poland. I spend time with my family.
Legendary.
Go. All right, Breck, anything else to say?
No, I think we covered most of it. It wasn't a bad card, but it wasn't one of those super memorable cards. Just a good card in general.
Nothing. I think you and I can both agree. Nothing will beat 262. Was it?
Which
261.
Which was the Florida one. They were in Florida.
Yeah.
The first fight with fans back with
Yes.
Valentina versus Andrade and who was forget who was the other fights on that card.
Usman Masvidal, Namajunas Whaley, Hal Weidman, Smith Crute.
Yeah, that was.
And the prelims on that were amazing.
Yeah, that was a really good card. You're right.
Well, guys, that'll do it for us here. We'll see you in about a week and a half. Well, maybe we'll throw in a fun episode in there. Who knows? If there's big news, we'll be back. But Breck, we're back, baby.
We're back.
It's good to be back. We'll see y'all later.